Okay, so here it's telling you about these things called quarter notes and half notes. I spoke a little bit about quarter notes earlier, but what a quarter note does is every time the beat hits, that's a note. A half note, on the other hand, is twice as long. That means you'll hold out a half note for two of those clicks. So here's what half notes would sound like. Two, 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 two. Those are half notes. So you'll notice if I was to play this rhythm right here, this is called a rhythm. It is the layout of the notes and how long you hold each of them. I'll count this with you, or I'll play it along with this metronome. So on the high click, we're going to start. It goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice those half notes. Hopefully that bell didn't confuse you. You'll notice the half notes are twice as long. Going down here, we're going to play our first actual piece of music. It's called Ode to Joy. You've heard this song before, I'm sure. It's not that difficult to play, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. We'll just go note through it, and then we'll play it slow once, and then maybe we'll play it a little faster. Okay, so here's the Ode to Joy. You'll notice a couple of things. When you start a new piece of music, there's many things you need to check. Here are the main ones. First off, make sure you're in the right position. So I have already kind of spoiled it. Everything we play for the first little while is in C position. And you know that in this piece because you're in treble clef, which means you play with your right hand, and because your E, third finger E, is your first note. So if I put my hand in C position like we've done before, E is my middle finger, my third finger. That's the first note of the piece. Okay, it says it right there, E, third finger. Like I was saying, the other thing you need to check first is your first note. So all of our other pieces we've played have started on our thumb. This one starts on our middle finger. So make sure you start on your middle finger. All right, so the piece goes something like this. We'll just take it measure by measure. A measure is every time you see one of these bars, that is a new measure. So the first measure is these first four notes. Okay, so the first bar here goes like this: 3, 3, 4, 5, or E, E, F, G. You can try to figure that out on your own. It sounds like this: 3, 3, 4, 5. That's the first measure. Move on to the second measure: 5, 4, 3, 2, or G, F, E, D. Starting on my pinky for this measure: 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to start to notice, and this is something I might need to come and help you with individually, as we play all these notes in a row, you can only really play one note at a time. So let's take that second measure again, what I just played, 5, 4, 3, 2. You don't want to do this. You notice how I held all those out? You want to play the pinky, then lift up the pinky and play the fourth finger, lift up the fourth finger and play the third finger, lift up the third finger and play the second finger. So it's all lifting and playing new notes. Now again, try not to lift your finger all the way up into the air. Try to keep it touching the key as much as you can. That'll make it easier when you want to play faster. See, I can't even play fast if I do all the lifty things. So keep that in mind. Always play one note at a time. Moving on to the third measure. You'll see it starts on our first finger, and you play 2 C's in a row, then D, E. 1, 1, 2, 3. And then the last measure is a little different because it's got one of those half notes in it. So you start on your third finger and you play 3, 2, and then you play a 2 again, but this one's a half note, so you hold it out. 3, 2, 2. You got to count all the way through. So if there was a metronome going, that last note lasts for twice as long. So now it would be a good idea, if you haven't already, start practicing those 4 bars slowly, that first line of music, all of this right here. And then you're going to want to put it together. I'm going to talk through it real quick, and then maybe we'll play the first line together. Sounds like this. Starts on our third finger. Remember where it starts. 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. You can play that again without me talking. hear what song it is now if you recognize it. It's from Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. It's the last movement. The second line of the music, if you'll notice, it does this really cool thing, and a lot of music does this, and you'll notice this a lot. The first 3 bars are exactly the same. So look at the first bar, 3, 3, 4, 5, E, E, F, G. We go down to this line, 3, 3, 4, 5, E, E, F, G. So I'll go ahead and tell you the first bar, the second bar, and the third bar of that last line are all the same. So you play the exact same thing again. Now, the last bar is different. You'll notice in the first line it's 3, 2, 2. In the last bar it's 2, 1, 1, or D, C, C. D, C, C. Can't sing that loud. D, C, C. It's a little better. So, playing the last line sounds like this. You notice that sounds a lot more conclusive because we're ending on a C, which is the key of the song. So that makes it all sound nice. Right. So if I put this whole song together, I'm going to talk through it as I play, and then I will play it once together. And yeah, so here is what it would sound like, the entire thing. I'm starting at the very beginning with my third finger. Start on 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. Next line. 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1. It's important that in between lines, after 3, 2, 2, East, D, D, that you take that full space and you pause, right? And then you start the next line. Because if you don't do that, then you're going to be completely off. You're not going to be with the metronome. Speaking of the metronome, I'm going to find a good speed for it. I'm going to turn it on. I might even make a little drum beat real quick, just because that's something that I could do pretty quickly, I think. That might take too much time. Let's just put the metronome on. So here is a metronome. Let's see how fast I want it. Pretty good. Nice and slow for the first time. We'll play it twice. Once slow, once fast. Here's the slow version. So get your hand up in C position, starting on our third finger. And 1, 2, ready, go. So that was it it was actually kind of a medium tempo. It was a little faster than I thought. In fact, I don't even want to play it any faster than that. If you can play it that fast, then you're great. If you can't, then practice it until you can play it that fast. So that's Ode to Joy. We've talked about the treble clef sign, but this is just what the treble clef sign actually signifies. It's telling you which notes you're playing. So the reason we use these is because if we didn't use these, then there would be these notes that are like crazy high up above all the staff that music is written on. There'd be crazy high notes. So instead we just write one of these big signs here to let you know this is G. This is the G. It's circling the G on the staff. So that G just happens to be like this one, the one right above middle C. That's the G of the treble clef staff. So that's not important really to know yet, but that's what a treble clef is doing. This thing is called a treble clef. It's not called a music sign, so call it a treble clef. And we'll keep on keeping on. Okay, we got to learn our C position in our left hand now. The C position in the left hand is really similar to the C position in the right hand, but it's really different at the same time. It's actually exactly the opposite of the C position in our right hand. So you'll notice if we put our right hand back up in C position, our thumb is on the note C. Our thumb, our first finger, is on the note C. In our left hand, we do it different. We're going to take our pinky, our little finger, our fifth finger, and put it on C. You'll also notice, again, this is why the treble clef was important, my middle C is right here. The middle C is where our C position should have been this whole time. Middle C is right here for me. The left-hand C position goes on the C below to the left of middle C. So again, that's where my pinky goes, down here. My pinky's not going to go up here because then you can't see this, but that would make my hand all the way over here. I'm like crossing my body with my hand. You want to always keep your left hand on the left side of you, your right hand on the right side of you. So our left hand, our left pinky is going to go on the C below middle C. Then our fourth finger goes on the next note, D. Our middle finger goes on E. Index finger goes on F. And your thumb comes up here to G. Now I'm doing this long finger thing just to show you where my fingers are, but you'll really want to look more like this, nice and curved. And again, just like we did with our right hand C position, we want to be able to hit all 5 of those notes. You don't need to be able to play with both hands at this exact moment, but that will be the next thing we do, so maybe start thinking about that. Again, it's a good idea to probably get your left hand up in C position and then back down and then back up and then back down. Again, remember though that your pinky is what is on C now. So find that C below middle C, put your pinky on it, and then put the rest of your fingers down. A very common thing that I see people doing is they're like, oh, okay, C position, and they'll take their left thumb and put it on C, just like we do with our right hand. But if you do that, then you're way down here and you're playing all the wrong notes. So pinky goes on C in your left hand, thumb goes on C in your right hand. And if this helps explain it to you, the reason we're doing that is we want our leftmost fingers of each hand on C. So on your right hand, the finger on the very left of your hand, I know that's kind of weird to think about, is your thumb. On your left hand, the finger on the left of your hand is your pinky. So the leftmost finger is going to stay on C. That way we can play C all the way up to G, which is the rightmost finger, and it's where you put the G under your rightmost finger. I want to skip the left hand warm-up because it's basically the same thing as the right hand warm-up. It would be a good idea, though, for you to play around with playing all 5 of those notes one at a time. Remember, not holding out any notes. So just like with our right hand, playing one at a time, not holding out any notes. New rhythm here, the whole note. So again, we've talked about quarter notes. They last 1 click. The half notes last 2 clicks, like this. This is quarter notes. A whole note lasts for 4 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's called a whole note because it takes up a whole bar all by itself. Remember, I talked about measures. This is a measure, that's a measure. Whole notes take up a whole measure all by themselves. All by themselves, a whole measure. So a half note takes up half a measure if you didn't catch that before. So that is a new rhythm. There is a whole note in our next song, which is called Ara Lee. Ara Lee is a pretty famous song. It's famous now because of Elvis. Elvis did a cover of it and called it Love Me Tender, Love Me True, Never Let Me Go, that song. So Ara Lee is a little more complicated than the Ode to Joy was, and it's going to take place all with our left hand. Now, did the book make this clear? That I missed it? Yes, we did. So we have a new clef here, the bass clef. So remember, in our right hand, we played with this thing called the treble clef. It looks like this. The bass clef looks like a big backward C, and it lets you know, again, in piano, this is simplified, but you play that with your left hand. If you see something and it's in bass clef, you're going to play with your left hand. Eventually, we're going to learn this new thing where they put both clefs on top of each other, but for now, if you see right hand, it's going to be treble. If they want left hand, it's going to be a bass. Bass clef looks like this. And it's for the same purpose as a treble clef, just to let you know where you are. Again, so like that note right there, where it's a C, if I was in treble clef, it would be this note way up here. But since it's in bass clef, it's this note way down here. And that's why we use the clefs, to tell you which area of the piano and of the musical spectrum you're playing in. All right, so Ara Lee. It's in C position, left hand C position, so that's the first thing we should do. Get our left hand in left hand C position. Left pinky is on a C. Cool. Then, just like before, we're going to look at one measure at a time, and we're going to just figure out one measure at a time, then move to the next one. Again, this one's a lot more complicated than Ode to Joy. They don't all go in order like they did in Ode to Joy, so we're really going to need to break down each measure by itself. So, first measure. left-hand C position. It'll give you the finger numbers, so you should definitely use those. And if you're in C position, you don't even have to worry about the notes. You can, but you don't have to. So the first note is on your pinky, the 5th finger, and it's a C. That's the first note. That one's pretty easy. Now it immediately gets a little harder by giving you the note on your 2nd finger. So you're skipping these two and going all the way up to your 2nd. So you go pinky up the 2nd finger. It's a C to an F. And it would look like this if I played it right. C, F, and then you play an E, which is under your 3rd finger, then back up to F. So those are the first 4 notes. C, F, E, F, or 5, 2, 3, 2. So practice that first measure. That first measure is pretty weird, pretty difficult. So 5, 2, 3, 2. Going from there, your next measure, you play a G, which is under your 1st finger or thumb. G with your thumb. Next, it's a D, which is with your 4th finger. Again, this one skips around a lot. 4th finger's way down here next to your pinky. And then back up to G. So that second measure again, G, D, G, or 1, 4, 1. You'll also notice that that 1 under the word spring is a half note. So you hold that out twice as long. If I was to play the first 2 bars of this song, it would sound like this. And again, you gotta make sure you hold out that half note for 2 beats, which is exactly twice as long as the other notes, no matter what speed. So if you're playing it this fast, that's all you hold. If you're playing it this fast, sorry, 1, 2, you hold that half note out for 2 beats. I missed a note there. Looking at the 3rd bar, neath the willow, 2, 3, 4, 3. This one's a little more straightforward. If I put my hand up in C position, F under my 2nd finger, my pointer finger, 2, down to 3, which is an E, down to 4, D, back up to E with my middle finger, and then we're going to go ahead and finish it out. Actually, we'll learn all 5 of these notes at once. The 4th measure is an F under your 2nd finger. So those 5 notes together, neath the willow tree, is 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. Then you hold that tree out for 4 whole beats. So 4 times as long as all the other notes. Let me recenter myself here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you start the next one, okay? So the whole top line, and this is the melodies, the whole thing, you'll know how it sounds now, goes like this, starting in the very beginning. C, 2, ooh. I tried to say letters and numbers. Let me do just numbers here. I'll say the numbers. At the very beginning, 5, 2, 3, 2, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 2, 3, 4. Then you're done. Make sure you hold that note out. Again, you'll notice when I get the spring in the middle there, I had to hold that note out for 2 beats. And when I get to tree, I've got to hold it out for 4 beats. Okay, just like in the Ode to Joy, the next 3 bars are exactly the same as the first 3 bars. And actually, now that I look at it, hey, this song, you just play the exact same thing twice. So look, the first bar is exactly the same. The second bar, exactly the same. Third bar, exactly the same. Fourth bar, exactly the same. So they're being easy on us. This one's a lot harder to Ode to Joy, but it is very short. It's just the same 4 bars over and over again. So I'll play the entire song now. I'll do it with the metronome, and I'm not going to say anything. So let me get the metronome started. I'm going to turn that down a little bit, actually. There we go. About that fast. Starting with my pinky. Play with me. And 1, 2, pinky, go. again, make sure we're holding all those notes out the proper length. Here's the cool thing about the way we're doing this little video thing, by the way. You might not have been able to play that because I just kind of rushed through the song. You do have to stop and practice every once in a while. So if you couldn't play that up to speed with me, pause the video, maybe rewind, or just pull out your book or look on your screen and over there, right there, look right there, and you should be able to see the music and try to play it on your own at whatever speed you can play it at, right? So I'm not trying to get you to play it, any faster than you need to be able to. And so that is Aura Lee.